Well, hello there. It's your buddy, Admiral Teag. Please like or follow this channel as we give you our special Election Day coverage of the greatest fight of the 80s. And with me is Lieutenant Commander Petty Officer Nelson.
That is Lieutenant Commander Petty Officer H. Nelson. I am an expert in orchestrated combat. And today we're going to talk about a gem of the 80s. John Carpenter's They Live, a fight between John Nana and I believe, what is the character's name?
The other character is named Armitage, and the screenplay is credited to him. He plays Childs in John Carpenter's The Thing, which this movie has some overlap with in theme. It's as though The Thing had escaped, but instead of being some sort of biological organism, they're like, we're being controlled, and reality is being controlled by an elite of, I guess they're cyborg aliens, because we see some flying saucers and stuff.
I think they're completely organic. Just because they have cheap cardboard masks that their mouths, the teeth flap up and down like one of those crash test dummies. Remember Vince and Larry?
They are supposed to be like tendons. You're right. This is like, it's almost like a planet beneath the Planet of the Apes kind of thing. When you put on the sunglasses that are intrinsic to the plot of this movie.
We'll explain in a second.
Okay, so this movie was from 1988. It's by John Carpenter.
Year of our Lord, 1988.
We should remember that. And it got pushed back to election week because of all these other movies. Listen to these blockbusters. We have Beetlejuice. Bloodsport is kind of in the same wheelhouse.
Above the Law.
Above the Law with Russian citizen Steven Seagal. Bright Lights, Big City. And then They Live is figuring prominently up there. And we have movies like The Accused, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
You should totally bring a date to go see The Accused.
That or Swept Away with Madonna are the two best date movies.
What was that? Oh, that movie that was the vehicle for Joe Pesci's up-and-coming career. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Yeah, but directed by either Spielberg or Lucas. I can't remember which one.
Directed by both.
I saw
they want the guild to get at them, you know?
they did work outside the Directors Guild. You know, I've just...
Gotta get your art made.
I just read the George Lucas 30-day screenwriting challenge on Audible. Every 15 minutes it starts a new book. It was a series of books. So every 15 minutes it'll be like, and that's why I don't accept any unformatted skits. And I don't formatted scripts.
I don't write a second draft.
And then like a moment he redrafts a little, but then a moment goes by and he's like, hello and thank you. You've made an excellent purchase in your future in buying this book on screenwriting. It will be an excellent addition and a tool for you to use. Chapter 3, write what you know. And I'm like, how the fuck is he going to pay this off?
Who was the best grift he ever made in screenwriting? What's it called? When J.J. Abrams paid him $4 billion to learn nothing.
J.J. Abrams, I think, is uninstructable, and I've gone on a long arc about how J.J. Abrams is actually a savant, just purely a savant, and Lost is still the worst ending of all time in TV history. Find a bigger show that's not in reruns, anywhere.
You know who really used J.J. Abrams' style, though?
Who?
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg went forward.
Using J.J. Abrams.
He fast forward in time and used.
He stole it.
Absolutely. And I like also when he picked up bits and pieces of the George Lucas screenwriting style. And remember when he said we wouldn't get bad dialogue? Somehow Palpatine has come back.
Let's never write an ending.
That is it right there.
Let's get into the lore of They Live.
By the way, other movies this year, just real quick: Rain Man, and we have to mention this one: Young Einstein, starring Yahoo Serious. A one-hit wonder, a legend. I think Marie Curie was Rachel Weisz, though, and The Naked Gun. So, I mean, this thing had a lot of competition. Anyway, he's making a political statement, but it's kind of a fun one. It's not too heavy-handed. It's not either...
If They Live, the movie that it's very heavy-handed.
Well, it's not heavy-handed in the sense that it doesn't take the right or the left. It's all a lie. In They Live, it's all a lie. John Nada is... You know, it's Spanish for nothing. He's an everyman. He may as well have escaped from the ice base in The Thing. This is the same kind of thing. The world's been taken over, and basically we get a movie within a movie when all events culminate with a fight. Nada has discovered some tech that can help you to see that the world is in fact an illusion. Money says this is your god.
Listen to the audience though. So what happens is he's a migrant worker in the streets of LA, and it gets sucked into this whirlwind of a church espionage, finding that there was a signal being beamed to the masses through an alien inhabitants of the planet Earth, and the only way to see these alien inhabitants is with special glasses that were forged by the blind pastor. So in this scene, which as a orchestrated combat veteran, I could say is probably on the upper echelon of I would say
it's a great cinematic fight scene.
Void of artistry, but not of absurdity. So the point of this fight is to get his would-be comrade to wear these glasses to see the aforementioned alien threat.
Now, this is a very fanciful plot that could never happen today. They're migrant workers in L.A. They have no real home.
Migrant American citizen workers that live in a shanty town in L.A.
Right.
There's no way that would ever happen.
And the connection here is that Gilbert, who runs the soup kitchen in the shanty town, is part of he's one of the people who knows about the aliens. So now Nada has already blown his cover. He's worn the glasses. He knows everything's a lie. He's killed a couple of these aliens. He's robbed a bank. Go ahead.
Broad daylight with a shotgun.
And do you want to give the greatest line of all movie history of the 80s? The turbocharged 80s, I'll Be Back is probably the king, but this one is right up there. Go ahead.
I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
And from that moment on delivers a massacre, and we see it in tech vision and in real vision. So now, wanted man John Nada back to the alley, which is like it really nicely conforms.
He's on the run. He just got dumped out of a garbage truck.
Right.
It happens upon his like we have aforementioned comrade.
And he has with him the last few pairs. There's a couple, a precious few though.
Are we going to debate this yet again? I think there's one pair left. Thusly, that's why he's.
The movie wants us to believe at this point there's one pair of glasses, so let's go with it. And we're at 000 of it's on YouTube as.
So we want you to.
They live
the long fight. Zoom back to the beginning there so we can get going.
So
this particular video is released by Universal Pictures, our overlords. Thank you so much for not having a streaming service yet.
Yes, right. I think they got bought. I think Disney Plus is technically Universal. Shit. Yeah. Anyway, a once great company.
Disney princess now.
That John Nada is a Disney princess, and he kicks a lot more ass than Kylo Ren.
Like a man.
And we're starting now, and we see Nada. He's on his back at 000 in a pile of trash, and he's got these all-important sunglasses that are going to tell his buddy Armitage, who's Charles from The Thing, and we'll probably end up calling him Charles most.
David, character actor, who was of course the voice of. The voice of Goliath of the Disney cartoon, very dark Disney cartoon of the mid-90s, Gargoyles.
Great cartoon. Here we go with the long fight.
We're giving you enough time. The long fight. They live.
Sinking it down in 3, 2, 1, and we're going. At 1 second, he's getting up. He's got a box with his all-important shades in them. Of course, it's the 80s, so he's wearing too tight jeans and a flannel
that is tucked in. He is tucked in.
He is
and
free
is
Nirvana.
that a wedding ring I see?
That's showing past pain.
That's showing past pain.
It's showing my past pain as he walks past my old car, 1978 Camaro Berlinetta. Now, Armitage is approaching him with his pay, even though he's a wanted man, and makes
awesome
a one
throw,
shot.
By the way, one shot
right into the bucket, and he checks him out with the glasses, make sure he's real. And now I'm going to let Commander Nelson call the fight.
And he doesn't, obviously, Keith David's character does not think that Nada over here is on the level. Stay away, you crazy mother. And this...
Wanted for murder.
He needs someone to believe him.
The first blow has been struck. Pause it for a second so we can get the time code here.
100%. We're going to pause this right now. We are at 55 seconds. You can see, look at the brow. Now, let's mention, this is Roddy Piper of WWF fame.
He's at his best at his acting. His most high budget film, but he's done a few, so he can act.
Definitely the best. We can pass this.
John Carpenter makes it the best for sure.
Yes.
And a channel that you should like and follow here, by the way.
This is the best movie he was in that didn't involve him having sex with women from town to town. in an earth of mutated frogs.
Hell Goes to Frogtown, a genius film, a genius
You
film.
want to see some cod pieces? That's for you.
That's a great
So
movie.
we're going to continue this fight.
So
We're
at
at
55 seconds now, but just want our fans to know, Roddy Piper is sporting a really great MacGyver hair. At this
Oh,
point.
well, the feathered mullet.
And
almost
it's
at the
windswept
same
at this
time.
moment.
Windswept is the only way to put that.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
so
sort of
we're
the Mel
55
Gibson
seconds.
haircut.
Well,
The same haircut.
we're doing 3, 2, 1.
At
Back
55
to the
seconds, we're
actions.
back in.
All right. Still trying to convince him. Ah. So now I'm an orchestrated combat veteran, all right? It's time to go.
Now, Armitage.
Hopefully you're watching this in 4K. You can see the obviously makeup lines on Roddy Piper's face.
Link in description, by the way. Now they're regarding each other and circling slowly, and Roddy Piper now has disregard for the glasses, throwing them away carelessly.
The plot device, the MacGuffin, if you will.
We call that the Last Jedi move.
Squaring up.
And he swings at the Queen Miss, and a combination by Giles.
On the floor, as you can see, is an experienced professional wrestler. He makes separation as he gets up, and he never turns his back on his opponent. Unlike Keith David here,
Who he has now put down with a brisk combination and nice basket hubcaps on that Berlinetta.
You want to walk us through the vehicle? We're going to pause again once here at a minute 50. What was?
That light blue car happens to be a 1978 Chevy Berlinetta.
Tell us all about it.
It has a 4-barrel carburetor and is a very hard car to keep on the road, although they do not destroy it in this video because it is very important that they resell it later. And behind him, you can see the box with the last pair of sunglasses in it.
I'm actually.
Those are our stakes. And that might be a second pair next to it. So we have a few pairs of sunglasses, but the thing is, we can't go breaking these things willy-nilly. They're very high-tech. There's only a few, and you're going to need...
a blind pastor made them in a shantytown.
A blind man made these in a shantytown and convinced his hacker friend to put them on, and that guy hacked TV, and now we're going to fight. Again, this begs the question, who turns down free sunglasses? It's L.A. He doesn't have a baseball hat.
We're at a minute 50. We're getting back in the action in 3, 2, 1. All right, snaps the glasses.
You're going to put these glasses on.
You're going to put on these glasses. Nice back fist, a nice forearm. That's a perfect C. Oh, you're killing me here. Chris Catagliano.
Chris, I will call you back. You'll hear yourself on the cast.
Is there any way you could stop that?
Probably not, but this is probably the best it's going to get, so let's just do it.
We'll keep going. Anyway, so if you saw, he got up and created a separation. He does a diamond shape with his hands and does not turn his back on his opponent. Are you going to take that? There we go. Excellent. This is live television, kids. It's not. It's a podcast. This could be edited later. It should not be, because this is...
And I have to find out why Google and Pixels do not work on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, do not get an Android
By the way,
Pixel.
Do Not Disturb. I'm going to pause this real now. We're at 2:45. Do Not Disturb is like the unfollow button. You could be on the internet, and your phone will not ring. So if you're like, watching an awesome podcast, or like, people getting down on your phone, which is, the Lord's below's will, I suggest you use that. Anyway, we're at 2:45 right now.
Dropping back into the greatest fight of all time.
We are not starting this podcast over, is what we're trying to say. 3, 2, 1, engage.
Now,
another moment of a rest hold. This would be in the professional wrestling world. He's about to stomp on his glasses.
The glasses are at stake.
Oh, that's a knee lift, Admiral. It's not a kick.
He set him up for it well by baiting him with the glasses. And now we throw the glasses again.
See, at this point, he just wants to go home to his family.
And we introduce another element to our fight. We've just seen our 2x4. It is quite the substantial piece of wood, but Roddy Piper's not ready to use it yet.
Awful takedown. Awful.
But now we're going to get what I think is the big piece of the fight
These
here.
are very awful.
We're going to get
awesome,
the jump off the wall.
Shots. There's a reason why that man
You want to describe this.
lost to Hulk Hogan.
We've got the
we got a
king
side
move of the
headlock.
fight here. The high point,
now
I would say.
we're going to talk about this move. This is called a back suplex. Now there's the timber maneuver, which you just saw, and there's the straight down maneuver that Ric Flair was popularized for. It's much better to do the straight down. It shows you that you're more of a worker and you know what you're doing. But this is a drag out, knockdown. Look at this. Drag down, knockout fight right now.
One haymaker after another to the face, both combatants beaten and bloody, and now Roddy Piper is smashing
eye gouge.
an eye gouge, and a gourd
Here
smash.
comes Admiral. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knee shots to the nuts, and a drop toe hold, horribly taken by Keith David, character actor. And now he has the wooden post in his hand, swings, miss.
And we're going to trash the back window of what you kids, this is called a Pontiac Bonneville. Yes.
Man.
It's brown, which
Now,
was a popular
we're going to
color.
pause it right here. He breaks the window.
Yeah, this
We're
part
at
mystifies
431.
us because they live in a shanty town.
Yes.
We've seen them.
They
We've
have
seen how they
if you
live.
see on the wall, they have designated parking spots. I don't know if you could tell this, ladies and gentlemen, but we've watched this scene quite a few times today. So they have
And been
designated
called quite a
parking
few times during the scene.
Yeah, they have designated parking spots. This man is a migrant worker at best. At best. And apparently he's apologizing for knocking this window in. Is this his car? It's never really explained.
We never find out exactly why he
Well-
feels bad about bashing the window of the car in, but I guess you know what it is? They're both upstanding citizens, and they loathe the property damage that they're
poor.
petty squabble.
They are what you call it again? The working poor.
They are the working poor,
They work
these guys.
just to be poor later.
And John Nada, what's really gotten to him is he believed in America before he put on the sunglasses.
Yeah, and Keith David's character said,
Keith-
you know, you just gotta take the other motherfucker down.
Right, he's
Yeah.
never believed in America. But he's not a harmful influence on people. He helps
As
people.
we would understand, do
He's-
your
he's-
glasses say Versace on them?
Yes, these do
Wow.
say Versace.
And you're
on
probably
them.
listening to this podcast on your $900 pocket computer in 4K. So,
But
if
that's
anyone
probably
knows
real, and these aren't.
If anyone knows anything about poverty, it's us.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right, so it's 4:31.
I got another call on the Obama phone while we were waiting.
Okay, so it's 4:31.
It's election night, everybody, vote.
Oh, remember to get in line to pick
They
which-
live. Our election special continues.
Remember to pick which party you want to slowly kill you.
Now at 4:31, the Pontiac Bonneville's back window is smashed out, and that's a hard part to get these days, but not when they made the movie.
Yeah.
And we're picking it up in 3, 2,
2,
1,
1, go. Engage.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Mom.
I'm sorry.
I bet you haggis I didn't mean to do that.
But your haggis.
And then Childs
This
could have
lap.
hit him with a bottle, which
Not-
was a supersized bottle, but maybe we don't know what it is. But
I think it's sugar. It's sugar glass. It could be a 22. I think it's the St. Ives
the
22.
thing is, it's a larger bottle, showing that it's a post-Reagan film because soda used to come in smaller serving sizes.
Now, this scene, as you have told me previously, by the way, this is a front and back body drop. John Cena popularized this move.
Very
As
nice.
You can tell by the lighting, this has been shot over 3 days. This is obviously being shot at night. You can see these shadows that were not there before. Why do we know this? It's because myself and Admiral Teag
Watch this
are
scene.
cinematic masters and experts.
We've watched
We did
the scene
research.
6 times.
We watched the scene 6 times today. We did research about 48 minutes ago while performing in front of 8 people.
That's right, and I performed like William Shatner. I beat the Seven Nation Army, but right now we've reached the penultimate moment of our fight.
Pancake Laker
We-
makeup, obviously with intoxicated Roddy Piper is getting up.
Yes,
For
he's-
act number 3.
this is also how he acts
within a
drunk.
movie.
This should have been the trailer for the movie because I
Now,
would
this
have then
is where they're about
seen
to
it.
shake hands, correct? And
No, a spleen
punch.
punch to release deadly toxins in the body.
Now, Admiral, you know what the name of this move is?
No, what is this?
That's called a gut wrench suplex.
It was well executed.
It was perfectly executed. Yet you need to get your opponent's center of gravity slightly above yours, and then use their momentum to get them over.
We've only made about 15 cuts, 25 cuts in this 7-minute fight. Maybe, right?
This, by the way, as an expert on combat sports, orchestrated combat sports, this was excellently edited to hide the fact that it is orchestrated, which of course, orchestration is different than fake. Like, you know what fake is?
Fake
Fake
would
is
be 2
deflating a-
stuntmen maybe doing. Oh,
Yes.
actually, 2 CGI dragons fighting is fake.
Fake is like if you watch like a let's say, you know, there used to be this what's it called? I'm sorry, basketball. There used to be a football player. His name was Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, the
Remember
guy.
he cheated?
Well, yeah,
he
several.
cheated.
Which time?
Well, he cheated, correct?
Oh, he cheated on a regular
Yeah,
basis,
he
of
cheated.
course.
That's fake. That's fake.
That's
Now,
fake.
orchestrated, it's not fake. You're getting to a common goal.
Now, these guys are doing a really good acrobatic performance fight.
Alright.
The grappling was great. They sold every minute of it. It was intense. We saw a believable human fight till maybe the last minute when we've just got gore hanging out the back of Keith David's head and Rowdy Piper. I'm just an expert. The alleyway, well conceived as a place of combat by a master of cinema, John Carpenter, because
master of cinema.
It mimics the wrestling ring dimensions and gives him his moves so he can do his wrestling stuff.
Do you know what the wrestling ring dimensions are?
I've set up a wrestling ring in production and stood outside of it. You're not allowed in it with your regular shoes, but I've seen it. What are the dimensions?
I'm sorry, that's just music to my.
I saw when it was still the WWF.
It could be training rings, or could be around 16 by 16. Most
those meters, yards, feet. Okay.
We're
Let's make sure we got this right here.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting to the entire world. Welcome to our viewers in Vietnam and Bangladesh.
Yeah. I mean, only America would have their measurements that only two or three other countries use and have the balls to call it standard. But yes, it is in feet.
That's right.
16 feet.
I think actually we use imperial measurement, don't we?
It's called imperial measurement?
I think well, when you get a 20-ounce pint, that's an imperial pint.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So I believe that the British abandoned it. We're the only ones left, so it's just called American measurement.
So I don't know. I used to.
And of course, Americans made pints smaller.
Before I joined Starfleet, I was a bartender, and when people would ask for a half liter, I used to make a joke that it's communist for more than a pint. No one got it because we're in the future.
We're in the year 2282,
yes.
Broadcasting back to you, and Commander Nelson here is one of the more valuable members of this.
Petty Officer H. Nelson.
H. Nelson.
Make me go F. Nelson on you.
H. Nelson is the Lieutenant Commander on one of my ships in my armada, and a great asset in my security force.
You are my superior officer.
We have left Starfleet, but you still have loyalty to me. That means a lot.
So we need to speak to this scene.
Oops. Yeah, let's take it.
This scene. Do you think this actually contributes to the overall story of this film?
It does and it doesn't. You could not have the movie without the fight. This is a fight looking for a movie, but the movie is smarter than some of what we say. No. I mean, the movie on a meta level is actually pretty fucking smart.
I believe in my heart of hearts, this is a alien invasion espionage movie in the late 80s. It already has the aesthetic. You already have a wrestler who you have a very
what's bigger in the 80s?
You have a very prominent wrestler
and a charismatic one. Probably before The Rock, Rowdy Piper was really one of the top
heavily
tier.
Disagree unless you care about Randy Savage or
Ric
Flair,
there's Immortals,
Hulk Hogan or Dusty.
But Rowdy Piper was at the bottom end of those Immortals. His career, unfortunately, not long. But I'm not the wrestling expert. You tell me.
Topic. We'll do a wrestling episode.
Listen, I think he could stand with those guys, but I don't know that he wrestled long enough. Unfortunately, we didn't have Rowdy Piper the way we had
the late 70s.
How long is his career?
He wrestled Chris Jericho in the mid 2000s. He wrestled Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
So he didn't die all that long ago, poor Roddy.
Yeah, sadly.
It's a bummer.
He was actually around to endorse what was known as Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah.
She was a flash in the pan.
She was cute.
She was.
And then she got uncutified really fast with one quick blow to the face. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway,
back to the relevance of this fight in this film.
First of all,
I'm going to go ahead on a very thick, protruding limb that will support my weight. That this fight adds absolutely nothing to the story and was constructed purely to be pieced together for a trailer, to make this into an action movie.
We need to look at the trailer for the movie and see if the trailer for the movie is justified.
I guarantee you're going to see sunglasses, you're going to see this fight, you're going to see the lady, you're going to see the shotgun, you're going to see some black and whites, and you're going to see the ending where they're shot up to space.
We're just going to throw it on our monitor here and we're going to watch it quick. and see how much of this is. But so it's
you know what?
It's a short trailer, 3 minutes.
I would like you to pause that. We're gonna do a bingo card. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
What did I mention? All right.
Sunglasses.
We're gonna do the sunglasses with the shotgun scene.
Right.
All right. The one quick clip of the lady.
One quick clip
of the love interest.
We'll see
Preacher.
the coven of people.
There's going to be a shot of the ending where the aliens are shot into space to talk to their home planet, and there's going to be a shot of this fight scene. If those 4 are completed,
This movie arguably starts and ends in the middle. This movie does not resolve its events. The door is open for a sequel, really. It's the 80s.
Well, we'll speak about that.
Okay.
Like an uprising. You know what I think would happen if the entire world found out nowadays? Well, not nowadays. Especially, I would say, early in the 21st century, where people just were on their... Remember that they had the devices they carried with them?
Cell phones.
The smart...
Right.
The small... Yeah. I feel like nothing would happen. I feel like they would just make sure that they had to... they'd probably have to retweet. Anyway, so we have the trailer out. I'm going to count down right now if I'm correct about all these events happening in the trailer, which I'm positive.
And despite all these problems, we have a clean stream still going. So, hey, it could have been worse. Let's see. We're not going to put the sound on.
If you mention we have a clean stream, that means you've dirtied the stream. All right, black and white. That's one down. Sorry for the silence, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure Admiral Teag will be talking at any moment.
They throw us the trailer here. We got a 3-minute trailer, and this one is it's actually a pretty well-made trailer. They're picking it up from after he's got the sunglasses. He's looking, and some of the things that he sees, the advertising is all basic. It says obey. We can get that t-shirt now, right?
I actually owned that t-shirt in 2007.
This movie still is in the popular culture, in the zeitgeist. A lot of political movements and stuff like that think that this is like kind of real, where we're all in our own Truman Show, but we know that's not the case.
Well, that's because people in my generation are in love with themselves. And the only way to fall asleep is to listening about podcasts, the movies that they used to enjoy.
Well, you can still enjoy this one, and as we watch the trailer, we're seeing that we are not getting the fight, and we are.
It would be nice if you would just let it roll.
John Nada is one of the things that we saw was when he looks at advertising with the glasses on, it says stuff like consume, and when he looked at a picture for a vacation at some kind of like sexy getaway vacation spot, it just said like marry and reproduce.
Yes.
So that's and money just says this is your god.
See, as someone who's seen the cosmos, I never understood this whole vacation. I do believe that I may have been betwixt by this. I feel like this is just a scene from the movie. I feel like you've had me, Admiral.
No, I mean it says they live trailer, but
is this officially licensed by our overlords? I mean, by our partners over at Universal Pictures.
We're victimized.
There we are. There we are.
And the real one is really short.
Oh, you don't say. You know why? Because this was in 1988 when decency reigned. So I've heard.
This was probably the first teaser trailer too.
There, the scene of them being jettisoned. Yes, very well. The preacher.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2.
So this is the guy from like the award ceremony.
So far, so good.
We see the glasses.
We're watching
now we see with the taking off the glasses.
We're seeing this. The lady.
I love that chick.
And what's the 5th one that I said was gonna end the fight? If we see one scene of the fight, and all 5 have been completed, and we are 38 seconds into the trailer, and I was correct.
Wow, some creative editing there makes it look like the fight ended early with them seeing like some other stuff.
Now, once
good
again,
job making the trailer.
You're welcome. You mean good job?
Good job.
Completely telegraphing what the trailer was gonna have in it.
Well, yeah, this is a fight in search of a movie, but the movie is smart enough. The movie is smart enough. It's a good idea. It's 2 hours of good, clean fun. I would say, like, compared to a classic that I love, like Independence Day, it's not as brainy as Independence Day, but in a meta way, it's smarter. Like on an exposition level, They Live just throws it right out. You put on the glasses, and there's the other world.
The beautiful thing
Independence
is,
Day
when I first
rolls
saw
it
this
out.
movie as like a child, I'm talking like a child. I'm gonna say about I'll say like 12. The exposition is the fun part. Now, I want you to think about a generation that grew up on Twilight Zone on New Year's. Very compelling television. Probably one of the best television series of all time. Probably in the top 5. As far as you have Oscar award-winning actors, writers. This is like a it's a well-staged Twilight Zone episode. The build is amazing.
You could say that about a few John Carpenter movies,
yes,
but definitely this one.
But what is the build to for this? Where is the climax? The climax is when...
It's when he blows up the substation.
No, it's not. The climax is when this man has a shotgun and blows everyone away and is on the run. That's
chewing gum and kicking ass. Yeah.
Everything is downhill towards the ending.
Well, he's lost his beliefs, right? He no longer has this dream that America will come through for him. And at this age, maybe he's supposed to be like a nom guy and they just don't mention it because he's about the right age. He could be a nom guy. Yeah. Both these guys could be nom guys. I mean, and that's something that goes unaddressed in this movie that we just knew in the 90s, that there were nom guys all over the place and they were just like kind of drifting.
So we're gonna leave you with this.
Exactly the 30-minute mark, the perfect podcast.
By the way, you've had about 1988. You had about 34 years. 34. Oh.
We're not spoiling anything with the end of They Live.
We're fucking spoiling right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Someone of my stature. Ending of the movie is they enter the where the signal is coming from in a big ominous office building. Nada gives himself up.
It's the basement of the TV station.
He lands on the satellite, and the feed for the aliens goes off and exposes the entire world to the ruse, to the facade of the alien broadcasts, and just leaves us with a cliffhanger there.
And it ends up being the #1 movie in America for 2 weekends in a row during an election where we went from Ronald Reagan to George Bush's dad, who is a little bit cooler, I guess. But then we got to see, manipulation and shell games with something like Desert Shield, which was just, a whole talk show of its own. But that's it. Our thoughts on They Live, our Election Day special. H. Nelson, thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you as the very first guest in the ready room of the Admiral's Bridge. Please like and follow this podcast. We'll be uploading this later, and I'll be crawling around in the chat. Thank you all, and keep your shields up. Boom, we're fucking out.
Yo, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Yo, you want to do another one right now?
On what, Star Trek?
The Gorn.
Do I own that one?
No, it's gotta be on YouTube.
Okay, let's do it.
You know what we should do?
We'll try to do one more. Here's the thing, memory's pretty full, so we can do an hour. Like we did a half hour. I'll do the Gorn right now.
All right, so you're gonna probably lead mostly on this one.
Let's see. Let's go. Star Trek: The Gorn.
2 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh no, 5 minutes.
That's the one.
All right,
let's do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1.